Welcome back to the Glaze Studios oil painting tutorial. I'm Gomit Sivasankaran and we are in class 21 of the large canvas painting of Ardhanareeshwarar. Congratulations on reaching this far. 20 is a good number. We are now in 21. Hmm? 20 hours of effort and still going. Kudos. Yes. So let's just quickly go over what we have done so far. We have worked on layers 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the canvas, meaning layer 1 was a basic wash, layer 2 was a little more, after we had planned and strategized with the references, we did plot those references in here as superstructures and then we blocked them. Yeah. And now what we are doing in these other layers is that we are trying to build some blocks inside that will give depth and dimension and start giving a little bit of impact rather than a flat image. Yeah, we are trying our best to do that and we are working our way through in layer by layer. We are in layer 4 and the last session was really on working on the animal here, lion, which we did. Yeah, he was the spotlight in the last session. He took the whole session, and yeah, and now we are going to work on, yes, the snake. Remember, I said that the layer 4 of the snake isn't done. The reason being, I actually adjusted few things with the way the snake was looking and waited for it to dry a bit. And while we were working on other sections, we have this dried. So we are ready to work on the snake now. We will work on the snake and come back a little bit on this jewelry part that is remaining. There is few things to be done. We will work on that today and see how far we go with it. And if time permits, we would also start with a little bit of the background. Let's see how far we go today. So I am moving the camera to the front, very much the usual. So the focus goes on the snake. Yeah, it is a beautiful animal. Those who are scared of snake, mm, to be honest, I have been also very scared of the snake. Um, and I'm not an animal person by now. I think you would have figured that out that I have less knowledge of the animals. But the more I have learned about the snake, the more I've come to admire it. Um, and I think it's just the knowledge of it that we need to possess to feel comfortable about this animal. Unfortunately, the way the animal is shown in so many ways, it's only the, as opposed to the lion. Lion is also a fierce animal, isn't it? So, um, why would you admire still an animal like a carnivorous animal like a lion or a tiger more, or a cheetah, they are more than a snake. Yeah, I think it's all the same. They have their own propensities of, behaving in a certain way when they want a food. I think it's so normal, isn't it? Um, so right now, in terms of the materials, colors, no big change. I'm going to start with when it comes to the snake, they'll have to understand it as two planes. So it is like a tube that we need to understand how this tube is. And it's not a perfect circular tube. You need to understand that the bottom is slightly flat, and then there is this tube like this, the body of the animal. If you have seen earthworm or anything, that you will see that there is a slightly flat bottom versus what you see on the top. So we need to work on the bottom first, and then we go on to working on the top. Can we do it as two layers? The bottom starts right in this, neck area, like here, and it is always a flat kind of belt. And if you really want to go into the details, you can take on your own reference to work with. For me, I think I am okay working on this on my own. I have a little bit of ivory black and I'm going to blend in titanium white to make it slightly grayish. So I'm just taking a gray color. So I'm just taking a gray color and I'm going on filling this gray tonality. Maybe I will add a bit more of white to have it lighter. Lighter gray tonality. First of all, I'll fill it here. And for you to see where I am going, I'm filling it like this. And I'm not doing a vertical go, I'm just doing it horizontally purposefully because that's exactly where the shape is going to come. And I'm going on doing that here. And I know that it comes to an end in this. Now one can only see half of that base because it's now, yeah, curled under half of the base. I'm just doing it. It looks like titanium white to me. Oh, I don't know why I need a little more of the black to be added. Yeah, but it will come right now. So I am doing that part first. The sections that are on the flat layer, I am quickly going to do the detail on that as well. So be ready with that. I'm now using a zero brush and I will switch to a micro brush maybe when I want to do the detailing. Yeah. So I'm just filling it in like this. This is my, to be honest, this is my first attempt, really focusing on the snake. So, really, if you are somebody totally new, hey, we are two of us now. This is turning titanium white. I wanted it to be slightly dark. I can. Yeah. So, this is how I have done this. And right now, I'm going to start working on the detail of it. Looking forward to that. Um, I need my zero brush. I'll move my other brushes away from me and I'm going to take zero brush only. I will take ivory black because it will blend any which ways with the wet, gray color here. I'm going to ever so lightly start building that curvy line around. It'll start showing in a while now, yeah. So I'm building that belt kind of thing. Um, it's not belt. I don't know what to call it as, but the scale. Ah, yeah, it's the scale. It's the scale of the animal. Oh, sweet. Now that I could remember, yes, I'm building in that scale of the animal with ivory black, and it is blending slightly here in this, um, gray mixture. But that is fine. Mm-hmm. Remember the way you want to show it, it contracts here, it expands a bit because look at the angle of the hood. To be honest, when I was Google searching for references of a snake, the most of the snakes that I could see was, I don't know why, most of the pictures that I could see were looking really fierce. And we need to understand that, a snake really shows that fierceness and anger only with some purpose when it is really disturbed, or it's really targeting its food. So the snake is much more intelligent in that manner. So we don't necessarily need to show the snake, all the time in such a fierce position. Doesn't make sense, at all. So I'm slightly look at this now. I'm making it half of that scale. We can only see half of the scale in the bottom, isn't it? So I'm just keeping to that. And I'm also mindful that while I work on this, the gold, if you have already worked on it like me, the gold might not be dry and you might hit it accidentally, throwing your hand this way, that way. Be careful with it and just focus on this beautiful snake and the scale of the snake. You're only doing the scale of the snake. And just want to give that, darkness in the bottom. Okay. Okay. Hmm. This is done, and now I have to go for these. Which way is he curling around? Now, which way the shape has to come? Mm, I guess it will be this way. Yeah. Don't worry too much about the ivory black if you have had a little too much of it. If it turns totally black, you can rework on this and make it gray in places. Uh, Try to, you know, avert that accident as much as possible so you don't get to, do too much of rework. But if it is really tough, it's okay. You can try to put in the gray tonality later. See where it ends, very close to the jewelry that Shakti is wearing. Yeah, so we have done that. The next circle. Hmm. My brush isn't sharp enough. It's just creating a mess here. I'm trying to fix that. Yeah. Okay. Getting the hang of it. The scale. Hmm. Yeah. So you see a little more of the scale on the third because it's, the first one there is more of the skin and that is visible. The second and the third we need to really work in that manner that you see a little more of the scale and less of the skin. Okay, I think I am nearly there with the scale. The last section here, this is the end, the tail of the snake, so it gets smaller. Just be aware of that. It should be really tiny lines, and then we are closing it there. Hmm? So that's how it is. We managed fine. And right now, when we work on the rest of the body, so that's again scales. That's not the kind of scale that we've seen. This is the base of the body. This skin could be imagined like diamond shape or a circular shape or something going up and down. We could do that, and we will try. Can we try? What kind of color do you want this? Sorry, would you need the animal to look like? We have done enough of yellow ochre with the tiger skin and also with the lion. So could we try, let's say, orange, cadmium orange on that front? Could be a not necessarily a totally orangey, snake, but then on that, front, some lighter color snake. And you can also try a green also. So there's a variety you can play around with. I'm going to do cadmium orange, but I don't want it to be totally bright as well. So to the cadmium orange, I'm going to take um, a bit of lemon yellow and blend it. I already have it in the palette from the last session, so I'm going to mix that and keep ready. And I've got a flat brush number. uh, brush number. I think this is brush number 2. So I'm using this color to first go over and see how this is. So it is slightly on the brighter side, but it isn't too bright, so it's helping me. And I think I will stick with this color tonality to work on the body. So I'm just going to fill in that first in the sections. Be careful not to touch the scale. Looks good, and it goes well. It enhances the what we have done, the yellow ochre coloring that we have done in the previous layer. So it just enhances it. So that is helpful. I'm going to just fill it in now and start working on that detail, just the way we did the scales. filled in. I think I will go with the zero brush to just, lighten it up, blend it in the places. I'm not going to blend it with a scale, remember. It's not blending with the scale. I'm just making sure that the body is fully, covered in the color first. Hmm. And then we can play around with burnt umber in this. Ah, lovely. So I'm just on the go deciding this color tonality. You could decide anything, any lighter, slightly lighter tonality and then a dark tonality. So you can do the same thing that you did with the scale. Yeah. So that's the whole point. The snake skin. Mhm. And when we get to these layers, this circle, that the third one, we wouldn't be able to show so much of detailing. Also, we'll try our best to suggest something, but then not too much. Yeah. Hmm. So right now, what I'm going to do is to what happens here when the hood opens up is that even that tends to show as some rows of those design, whatever pattern we are doing. So remember that you want to show that, yeah. And don't worry about that eye sort of a thing that comes when the hood opens up. We can work on that later also. Right now, just for try to use one pattern, whether it's a circle or what kind of pattern you want to show on the body of the animal, and then stick to that. I don't think there is any detailing available in the pictures that we took as references. There's one pattern here though. Yeah. And can you see they have just done one circle of the animal? So you can see that they have also used the gray scaling thing and then some other, like a tiger pattern or something like that. Yeah, so it's up to you. You decide on a pattern. I think I need to lift off some dry paint in my canvas. Okay. So I do that by the dry paint stick on in the wrong places and highlight in the wrong places. So if you have to remove it, just be careful using painting knife or something, not too sharp. And also be careful that you're not spoiling the base of the canvas itself. So we managed that. Now can we work on a pattern? What kind of pattern do we do? I'm thinking of a nice webby pattern. um, I'm going to make it here on the body and then move towards the upper region. I'm going to show some sort of hmm. Now when I do it, it gets, I get ideas also when I do those things. Because it is still looking flat, and I can see that, the shape doesn't come easily without us building on the shape here as well, highlighting the shape here as well. Mm. Mm. So I'm just building on the shape using that um, cadmium orange, making that the animal's body is even more enhanced at this end. Hmm. Kind of comes through. I wouldn't say 100% success, but it's there, the pattern. And we'll do this pattern and see how far it goes. Hmm, comes out okay in the next round, but it needs a bit of highlighting. I can see. Yeah, we will come back to that. So it isn't easy. If you're wondering, oh Lord, I thought this will be the easiest, or uh, this is less of a detail. And actually, we can do lesser details and make it on the, there's even as we completed the layer three, we can call it complete also. So it's up to us. Like I said, how many layers do you want to go and why, what level of detail you want to go. So if you're practicing this, you're aiming for some level of details and trying to stay true to that. So try your best. Whatever comes, and you learn from this experience. Yeah, if you're not too much used to detailing. So I'm going back to taking a little bit of this cadmium orange and mixed with titanium white to give that glowy effect because it's missing there after I added the burnt umber right there in those places. So it's starting to now look like, yeah, now it's a little more convincing to me. Whew, yeah, I feel a little more at peace. Not the best, still room for improvement, but kind of, it's beginning to give the feel. Okay. Good that we did this as layer 4, and when we come to layer 5, we'll be able to enhance it a little further. Good. Okay, I think we have the body of it looking kind of okay now. Um, it lacks depth. It lacks depth. I can tell it lacks depth. Mhm. But if we have to succeed on the depth area, that we are going to boldly go with the black now and go over very, very lightly in those sections that we did the scales on. So just be careful. If you have managed the depth already, congratulations. In my case, I can see that I am lacking depth. So I am, adding a bit of this ivory black on the rims where the scale is ending. Wow. Hmm. Good. I think that was good. Now I go back to doing the same thing on the main portion of the body that is really on top of the top layer. So going back to burnt umber and doing the design pattern on the body. Now it's a little more pronounced. I'm not going to the main what do you call the micro brush. I'm using the zero brush. Kind of helps for me. I think I'm okay with it now. Okay, I am not speaking at all because I'm just trying to concentrate. Here, what I'm doing is that the pattern, I'm trying to build the pattern close to mm, the scale here and bringing it up here. Keep the pattern alive in the same direction. And remember here, there is this, the body of the snake is just, the head is coming out. So we don't need to do that when we come close to the face of the, I don't know what to say. It's the head or the face of the snake, wherever the eye is, let's say. Hmm. I think I managed this pattern on this side, one more on this side, and then we go over with this, the dots to make this circles look enhanced. Oh, I think I went on for a nice color, even though it's cadmium orange because it's mixed with burnt umber here and it's got titanium white. It doesn't look really, a pale kind of animal. It looks really different. Okay, nearly there. Now it's time for the titanium white mixed with cadmium orange to go in these circles to enhance the circles a bit. Hmm. Wow, it looks good. With patterns like these, all we need is a little bit of patience. Yeah. Once we have figured out the pattern, it's just a matter of, filling in that, repeating ourselves, consistently. Wow, yes. So, and naturally, because I'm not mixing blending colors ready in my palette, the titanium white and this cadmium orange are, showing up in different patterns here, because I've got both the colors on my tip of the brush. So it's just helping me in some places. So it's by accident, I would say, but it also helps. In a way, it helps when you have something, two colors, spontaneously available here on our brush. It's usually creating a very nice pattern. It's a helpful idea when we are flower patterns. All these patterns really come out well when we have the tip of the brush with two different colors, and not blending in colors totally and not getting them ready totally. It really helps. Just being careful. I want to finish this side. Yeah, nearly there, nearly there. Yes, good. And let's do the head of it a little more brighter now. Take a bit more of the cadmium orange to add. Mhm. You want that. I'm not doing anything to the eye because I think where I put the spot, it looks good. Just gonna leave it like that now. Yeah. With the eye, do I need to do anything? I don't know. I'm just taking a bit of this black to give the depth here underneath, bringing it out like this. We'll anyways have to work on the next layer, isn't it? So we will come back to that. But for now, it looks like it's good enough. Okay, let's stop. I don't want to put the tongue out of this animal. Let's make him look like he's smiling, and not too much of angry snake or something like that. Yeah, that's where we are with the snake. Let's see how are we doing. Okay, can we work a little more on the jewelry before we finish today's session? Um, what is pending here on the jewelry side is again a pattern. If you aren't too tired of patterns, we are going to do this. And this is what I'm wearing is also an example of the costume that he is, the accessory that he is wearing. So it's all beads like this. And Rudraksha beads are even more thicker and even bigger with detailing. Um, I'll show you when we do layer 5, but for now, I think we should make these circles pop out nicely. Can you see the way what I'm wearing? Yeah, we want the circles to pop out nicely. And another thing is that we have been using only burnt umber. In reality, This could have very different color tonalities. Like the one that I'm wearing is not a Rudraksha mala. This is it's a red sandalwood, so it's got its own shine. But we can imagine a color like this, a little bit of color like this. So it's not necessarily burnt umber. Hmm? We have been giving the burnt umber touch to it. So what we need is Mars red or terracotta color. If we do not have such a color, then the alternative would be to add a bit of vermilion and burnt umber to get something that is close to, that is, reddish and brownish. So that's the whole idea. So I have this um, color. I would rather try it, but for the benefit of somebody that doesn't have this Mars red or terracotta color, I'm going to show you what I do here. So if you do not have this, I'm just having the usual vermilion, nothing else, a burnt umber. I'm mixing this to this. And what happens is that it gets slightly on the darker side, but it's still reddish. So you exactly get this terracotta color that I showed you. So you don't need to buy this. And can you see that it's so close to what I'm wearing here? This is so close to what I'm wearing here. So we just need that. So it's vermilion and burnt umber. That's it. It can be done. So don't bother if you do not have a color like this. All I'm going to do is load on the zero brush and I will go for making those nice crisp dots. So it will give that circular, feel. And remember, there is a tiny, tiny space between these dots. Maybe, it doesn't look need to be shown in the picture because the distance that we are showing, you might not see there is this thread in between. Yeah. But just imagine that each circle is clearly visible in that manner. Each bead is visible in that manner. So try to create that. So this bead is creating that nice variation. Making the bead look slightly bigger here when it comes to the middle of the picture. Mhm. And depending upon how much burnt umber you're mixing, the color, changes, shifts slightly, on the darker brownie side, or if you want it totally, on the vermilion side, less of burnt umber. So you can play around with this. But this is an amazing color to build. Yeah. Okay. There is some more beads to be done on his um, arms. He does wear a lot of this, isn't it? It's his favorite jewelry. So Sometimes it's also worn like the way I am wearing. It's five turns I made of this big mala. That's why it's like this. So it could be worn like that also. So you can make a double or a triple wherever, if you fancy it. Eh, Okay, right here. Yes, I think I managed the jewelry part. What we could do right now is that we could work on their hair. We haven't done that at all. For the hair, remember, we need to work on, we have placed the space for the baby hair also. We need to make the hair look slightly on the curlier side. I'm going to take burnt umber, again, the zero brush. I have ivory black with me to darken it up wherever needed. And I will use titanium white to give some highlights wherever needed. Yeah. So I'm adding a bit of the ivory black to the burnt umber, but most of it looks on the brownie side only right now in my palette. I haven't bothered about it. I'm going to right now make sure that there are nice curves here on her. So I'm working on Shakti's side. So let's move the camera here. The focus is on. Wow, the snake is looking lovely. Hmm. I'm working on the hair right now to build that hairline and make those wavy kind of images. And right now, I want to also build nice little um, curves inside the face because Shakti's face, we don't want it to be so broad. So I wanted to have those nice curls coming up here and showing like she's got slightly um, curly baby hair that is coming in here. I've done that. So that's about her hair that I have filled in. We will work on the shades in a short while. When I work on before I go on to taking another color, I'm just looking at Shiva's hair. Oh, it's a matted hair. I'm just giving some straight lines, streaks like this, slight waves and not too much of thing. So I'm just trying to maintain that rhythm of it. Yeah. So we have added the darker tonalities to this. And remember, his hair is also matted here on the top. Ah, he has a lot of hair. And there is the crescent sitting there. Okay, that's the moon sitting there on his head. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm ready to take a little bit of titanium white, and I don't need a perfect white. I want it to blend, so I'm not going for a pure titanium white, whatever is dirty left over. I'm just using it to give that wavy impression in wherever I need, the highlights wherever I need, ever so lightly. So it shouldn't look totally white there, like a white hair or something. We just want it to be like, giving us the the wavy feeling of the hair. Yeah, that's it. So here also I'm just doing, it's not waves here in his hair, I'm just giving slight streaks there. Oh, it's added. I did not want it to add that the orangey tonality. Oh, I ended up here. I'm gonna fix that right away. That's from the snake. So yeah, a little bit here. Okay. All right. I guess the hair is also done to a certain extent. The darkness in the hair we could do a little more. So I'm just going to take a bit of ivory black and blend it in into the space where it is totally, could be totally dark. I think we have it here on Shakti's side, clearly defined in the previous strokes that we did in the previous layer. But maybe Shiva's side needed a bit of that. I'm just giving that. Okay. Fair enough. It looks like we can make a stop with the hair as well. Jewelry, the next level detail is to work on. Mm, yeah, that is another level of detail to work on. So I guess we'll have to do it in the next session only. Um, what else can we do in this session? I guess it is making sense that we make a stop with this. We can work on the crescent one more time, but make sure that the brush is nice and clean before you hit the titanium white or and the crescent again, it's not total titanium white. So if it has a bit of yellow ochre in it, that is fine. It shouldn't look totally on the brownie side, just like the way we worked on the bull. Remember, that color tonality will be a good one to work with. So it's got a bit of that tinge of um, what do you call the yellow ochre in it. So it's helping the process. So I managed to do this as well. So I guess we'll have to make a stop here and Ah, yeah. Before we make a stop, I think there's one thing we could do. We could easily finish the conch here, isn't it? The conch is a nice blue color, but again, it has its black, the inside of it. So I'm just going with the um, ivory black, filling it here. Yes. And the outside of it, I will need Prussian blue or something. I think we used that, isn't it? It looked like we did use a darker blue, but I think it should be even more darker. So I'm going to take um, sky blue and mix a little bit of ivory black to it. So it's on the darker side of blue. Or I could use even darker blue also. I think take any type of blue, darken it up a bit. So here it's almost close to the green, so I would need a little more of the blue. I'm going to look for some more of the Prussian blue. Yes, I've got that. And yeah, I think that that's working fine. I don't want to add black to it. I'm just going to take the Prussian blue and go over the section one more time, filling it in carefully. It's on the darker side. I'm just going over the sides of it. To give the three-dimensional impact, the depth, we need something light, which means I'm going to take a bit of titanium white to this, and I will go over the section here to lighten it up. But remember to blend it nicely. Yeah. Yes. So the conch is also done. The conch has something hanging to it. We will work on that when we have done enough on the next layer, the last layer of uh, the skin, the tiger skin that he is wearing. Yeah, it looks like the conch is hanging now in midair. I'm going to take a bit of titanium white to give a slight touch of, a streak here. And it is blending a little bit. That's exactly what I want. Yeah, I want it to blend a little bit there. It is, yeah. Mm. So it gives that effect that we need. I guess we are done with that also. So, yes, let's make a stop with this. Hmm. Wonderful. So, let's, okay. So, today's session was about, so we are summarizing right now. Today's session was about working on the snake. We try to understand how to do the scale. I tried to understand at least because I've never personally never attempted a snake before, so it was a good learning. And then we worked on the Rudraksha mala that he is wearing on his body and also, yeah, everywhere in his body. Then we worked on their hair a little bit, giving it a slight bit of shade, slight, curvy impact to the hairline. And then, yes, we worked a little bit on the conch as well. So we have managed to do all these things. We could work on the lotus also, but I think, it makes sense that we wait with the background and then work on the circle. So that's about today's session. What we will try to do in the next session, before we have to get into the background, is that the jewelry part, we have only loaded gold, so we'll have to place a little bit of, um, colors to it, as in terms of, looking like pearls or something like that, pearls or any other gems inside. So we'll have to work a little bit on that, and it helps that we have the hand free to place it on the space. So it helps that we do that first before we get into the background. So we'll start with that in the next session. So, okay, thank you for today's session, and I hope you have found it interesting to work with the animals that we have done today. And also, if you have any questions, do remember questions, feedback, comments, anything that you want to share, support at the glazestudio.dk, support at the glazestudio.dk. And remember to take pictures of them if you have any specific questions, and if you're really concerned that your picture is the way you are painting is completely away from any of the references or what you see here. Yes, it's important that we discuss, and we will try to catch up on a Zoom or a Teams call to see how we can help each other out in that manner. Yes, thank you very much for following. Keep the pace going. You're doing very well. Keep yourself motivated. You will reach there. If you have reached this far, yes, you're going to see the end of it as well. Congratulations on reaching this far. And yeah, stay healthy, stay blessed, and let's meet in the next class. Bye bye.